gentleman grab my hand with tears in his eye and say, I'm scared. And I've had a 23-year-old college student grab my hand, hold it in his hand and say, I believe in you. I believe in the American dream. I've had the greatest opportunity in the last 14 months. And I would be honored to serve you after another 7 days if I have the opportunity to get you going. Now, interesting, there are probably some of you here that one thing I found is I can run into a Democrat, and no matter what I tell them, no matter what my background is, no matter what my experience is, they're going to vote for the Democrat no matter what. In fact, there's an interesting story. I was at a Fairless football game last Friday night. A guy walked up to me. We had some time to talk. He says, you know what, you seem like a good man. You seem like somebody I could vote for. Of course, he only spent 5 minutes. He said, but I already voted. I can't remember who I voted for. And I said, really? I said, well, who, so he looked at me, he goes, were you endorsed by the United Steelworkers? And I go, no. He goes, well, all I know is I take my Steelworker card in, and I vote whatever they tell me. And that's the problem. That's really the problem with what we have today. Because let's face it, some of the problems, you know, we can stand here today and I could blame Nancy Pelosi and I could blame President Obama and I could blame my opponent. But let's face it, it's good that all of you get together and talk about some of these because we all have to share some of this blame. Because if you think about it, we elect people based on sound bites versus substance. We elect people based on an advertisement versus an accomplishment. We elect people that have never created a job, never balanced the budget, never had the opportunity to employ anybody, and never understand what it means that you can't spend yourself in prosperity. But guess who elects them? We do. So what we really need to do is start thinking about who we're going to elect next. The other thing that I always tell people is campaigning is like a NASCAR race. I don't know how many people like NASCAR, but it's not how well you finish. Nobody cares how you finish or how you run a race. In politics, you know what they want to see? They want to see a crash. They want to see that one gotcha moment. They want to ask you that one question that they can say, gotcha. That's what they want to do. And that's what's been happening for politics for years. But it's really worse than ever, this cycle. Because what I had, as some of you have seen, I had one guy ask me a question that I answered on national news. And then I had another guy ask me a question. By the way, we get the Democratic Party here filming. I'm not sure if you... No, this guy here is the Democratic Party. Looking for the gotcha moment.
Public meeting. Something good.
Just so you know, this is the gotcha moment. And especially nowadays, that's what we have. We have people looking for that gotcha moment. So what you will see tonight is my answers now will change with the Democratic Party here, trying to look for a gotcha moment. But it's interesting because that's the sad thing. Now this is, so you know, I mean, this is a private function. We rent this hall. We can either allow him to stay, we can ask him to leave. He's asked to leave for the last function.
Well, he's welcome. Why would we ask him to leave? He's welcome.
Well, long story short is, this is what we have. It's the gotcha moment. It's the question and it's the answer and it's the don't trust. Of course, we have a guy back there who wants to ask us who got your question, so we'll see what. But so if you see me really back off on my answers, here's your reason why. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the questions. And here's the first one. My definition? I was a poor individual when I grew up. My dad lost his job at age 8 when I was 8 years old, and my mother was a nurse, single family provider. I considered us middle class at that time. All right, today, there are people that, husband and wife are working, 3 or 4 children, they call that middle class too. So, I'm not sure, depending on what would be middle class.
Yeah, but that's what you heard the Democrats say.
I mean, what they sometimes talk about is people making less than $250,000. But I'm telling you, that's the other question.
Well, maybe it's a more pertinent question, but I will say that we put voters' guides out, and as we've got the voter guides back, the Democratic Party, every one of them did no response, no response, no response. The Republican Party answered all the questions, and so just by looking at that, if the Democrats are too afraid to answer our survey questions, then they don't deserve to be voted in. That's my feeling on that.
Yeah, I'm curious why you didn't show up at the camp debate, and then why Blevins was excluded from the Glen Oak debate. Now, I know why he was excluded. I want your answer. I want to hear what you had to say about it.
Which debate are you talking about?
The debate in Canton, you were not there. At the Palace Theater in Canton, you did not show up.
The answer to that was, what we said all along was, if we're gonna invite Mr. Blevins, we invite all 4 candidates. And we were pretty solid with that. It's all or none. Mr. Boccieri doesn't handpick one candidate, it's all candidates. And we did have a write-in candidate, we said we will be there as long as all 4 candidates are allowed to be there. Mr. Boccieri declined, he would not do that. So we said we're not showing up.
Okay, how did, let's finish the question here. Now, the Glen Oak debate, Boccieri and Blevins signed a memorandum of understanding. You were invited also, and you wouldn't sign that until it expired, and then you kept Blevins out of the debate, or someone did. I'm
That's
guessing
not true either. The answer to that was, we said all 4 candidates or no debate. It's either the 2 of us, if you're gonna attack me with $3 million worth of ads, it's either the 2 of us or all 4. Mr. Boccieri, you're not gonna handpick
Well, no, wait a minute. You debated here in Worcester with just the 3 of you, so something stinks already.
Well, let me answer
You're not being truthful
No.
with me, I think.
Let me,
And if you're no,
sir, I know we're
How
looking
can
for a gotcha
somebody
moment.
like you represent me in the
let me
16th
answer the
district that
question.
pulls those things?
Let me
I
answer
don't
the question.
understand it.
Let me answer the question, because all you're doing is talking again, you're trying to get me in a gotcha moment, but I don't have any problem with that. I'm gonna answer your question. In Worcester, we said all 4 candidates or none, same thing. But they kept coming back and saying, no, do it one time with Mr. Blevins. We said all 4 candidates or none, no debate. He ended up saying we're not gonna do it with all 4 candidates. So we agreed. We said, okay, we'll do
So
it
you
one
kind
time.
of flip-flop and do whatever serves Jim
I
Renacci.
wanted Mr. Boccieri in a debate. I wanted to make sure I got a debate with him. If he's gonna spend $3 million attacking me, I'm gonna debate him.
Well, the way I see it, if you want the job, you should show up for the interview, just like Mr. Boccieri said in Canton. You didn't show up for the interview.
I'm glad to see we have a gentleman here like this, because that makes our vote all the stronger. We know who we want to vote for now.
Wow, listen to all that applause.
Any other questions?
Okay, I'll just ask the ad that talks about the foreign, what is it calling you? What is
Whatever they
it?
called me, I can tell you I never was.
Well, that's what I wondered. I wondered why did they?
Foreign trade lobbyists.
Yeah, foreign trade lobbyists. Yeah, explain that.
Never lobbied in my life.
Okay, I thought that was
Never ever
interesting.
lobbied in my life.
Jim, just to expand on that, why don't you go ahead and tell the story of where you think that came from?
Okay, where I think I came from is I formed a company a long time ago called Smokerize. Actually, my office is on Smokerize. And we formed a company where we were gonna do some consulting. I was the CPA of the company. So it was Smokerize. We tried to figure out an interesting name. Instead of Smokerize Drive, we called it Smokerize International. I think we saw it on a coffee can or something one time, Smokerize International. And it was a consulting company that actually did consulting for for businesses. And one of the businesses we were consulting with had a government contract. So the attorney actually for the company says, what we really should do is make sure we cover all our bases and file. And so she actually filed everyone that worked for the company as a lobbyist, even though we never lobbied. But so I think where it came from, and I told people this, Smoke Rise International, and being, but if you go to, it's like anything else, you can go to the records today, and you'll find that we